Right, so I've just put everything out of my holdall, which is here, out onto the table here, just to go through my kit for those of you who couldn't come last night. So I'll start off with my day pack. So this is my rucksack that I will be travelling with. I know we've been told that we need a 40 litre. I'm okay with a slightly smaller bag. I like having a smaller bag generally. So in my rucksack, which I will take with me on the aircraft, I normally carry a change of clothes. So in this bag I would have either a pair of shorts or a pair of trousers, light trousers, that I could wear on the morning that we start the trek. So if my luggage, which is here, goes missing, I have my boots in there, a pair of trousers, a top, a toothbrush, and just like the bare essentials so that I can start trekking until my bag turns up. It hasn't happened to me before, but it has happened to other people I know. So I like to have my bare essentials in there so I can start trekking, and I would also put this empty bottle in there as well. So a pair of trousers, a t-shirt or shorts, whatever you want to trek with, socks, pants, toothbrush, that sort of thing, so that in the morning I can just put my stuff on and not have to worry about the rest of my stuff arriving. So let's start with the basics. So lower down the mountain, obviously it's going to be quite warm, so none of this is required early on. But as we get higher up the mountain, I like these icebreaker tops. They come in different weights. So this is a 200 and then you've got a 260. You don't have to buy this particular brand, just a base layer to go on your top half. And I will be taking two just because I'd like to change at some point. And then I've got my long johns, which are again icebreakers. They're 260s, and I would be wearing these a lot higher up the mountain underneath my trousers. Okay, so the trousers that I'll be taking are these. They're just standard trekking trousers. There's nothing fancy about them. They're quite old now. They're baggy and they're slightly water repellent. They're not waterproof, but they will be baggy enough for me to put my long johns underneath those. Then I talk about here mid-layer. So these are just fleeces. Now, I will probably take two, maybe one. They're just your standard fleeces. There's nothing fancy about them, but they will go on top of my base layer. And I generally wear these in camp, in the tent, you know, where I don't want to be wearing a coat. I'll be putting one of these on. Whilst we're trekking, I would always go base layer, top, and a Primaloft jacket, which is basically a fancy word. It's this here, Primaloft. It's not got down in it. It's some man-made synthetic fabric. It's slightly windproof. It's super light, and this really traps the warmth whilst we're out trekking. As it gets colder, on top of this, I tend to put my Gore-Tex on. This is just a case of preference. You know, some people don't like that. They like to put their Gore-Tex over their down. I don't. I like wearing my Gore-Tex, which is this. It's just totally waterproof for lower ground, and also it will just stop any wind or anything like that. And then I've got my Gore-Tex trousers as well. So these trousers are waterproof, and they would go on top of my trekking trousers. I'd probably be quite warm lower down if I had the long johns on, but you don't have to put the long johns on, so you can just go trekking trousers and Gore-Tex. Now, all of this Gore-Tex stuff will be sitting in my rucksack whilst we're walking, so if it decides to rain, I can just whisk it out and put it on. So we've covered base layer, trousers. My mid layer would be these, but I don't trek in these. I put this on. because it's just a bit more breathable. And then once we're heading towards the summit, I've got my down jacket, which is stuffed in there, and it's just a big rab jacket, which will keep me warm. Yeah, so this stuff that's not been used at any point would be best to be kept in these waterproof bags to keep them dry and separate things. So I like knowing where my stuff is whilst we're trekking. So in a bag I have my gloves and a hat. So I've got my woolly hat, got mitts. You know, ski mitts would do you fine, but so they'd be kept in a bag like that that's waterproof. Can't remember what's in this one. Oh yes, socks and pants. Now socks and pants is totally personal preference. I'm not going to be going heavier as we go up. I like these woolly socks. Gosh, it looks like it's shrunk actually. And I will probably take 4 or 5 pairs, and I only take a couple of pair of pants, to be totally honest, because I'm a light traveller. But then I use these really thin liners, and then just change that on a daily basis. Toiletries. I know it's very sad. So obviously earplugs is a huge must. I have this Compeed thing, which is really good for stopping blisters, I find. Sun cream, dry shampoo. I find this stuff really works well for mosquitoes. It doesn't work for everyone. And then I have a selection of drugs and creams that I particularly like using on the mountain. So don't get carried away with too much stuff, but take the stuff that you like to have. Wipes are really important. And I know we're not allowed carrier bags and things like that on this trip, but I've got these. I need to check with Helen and make sure that we can take them. I like having these in case you go to the toilet whilst we're trekking. I like to put my loo roll in these things and not leave the loo roll lying around. Baby wipes, hairbrush, loo roll. Probably take more than that when we go, just so that I'm not caught short. Little towel, tissues, face washes, and this stuff which I really like, which is rock tape. So if there's any areas that you know inside your boots might give you blisters, you can put this tape on before you get the blister. And I carry a penknife. So that's basically my toiletries and survival stuff. I've got my walking pole here. Do take a book or a Kindle that you know we'll have time to sit around. Got my head torch and spare batteries and padlocks for my bags. And there's my battery pack, so to charge any of my GoPro or cameras or whatever I want to take with me, I'd be taking that. And this is my little thing that I love. It's my pillow. I know it looks huge, but it does compress down to nothing. Sleeping bag, and that's my Thermarest pad, so I'll be blowing that up. We have got pads between camps, but I quite like that, and it's, you know, I think we all should take whatever makes us feel comfortable. So this would be all of my kit that's coming up the mountain, and I would keep a small separate bag, probably bigger than that actually, with a change of clothes, a couple of sets of clothes, a bikini, whatever I want to leave in the hotel, and leave that at the hotel for when we get back down. You might want to put things like perfume or conditioner, you know, all those lovely things. And I hope this helps you. I'm sorry it's a bit chaotic. And any questions, do shout. Big kiss. Bye.